reversal here, DC.
What a way to switch the position. Fantastic movement by the bottom fighter.
All right, now we take a look back at some of the highlights. He has had his kicking game going early and often tonight.
I mean, on point, right? He knew that this was going to be a way for him to take control of this fight. He's used those kicks to really put him out ahead. And I'm not sure if his opponent has the ability to adjust and stop him from landing these over and over.
No big deal. You got a little cut. It's not going to affect us at all. Not worry about it. Just take it deep.
All right, DC, here we go with our next round, and we'll see if he can pick up where he left off. High volume of strikes landed in the previous round.
High volume of strikes landed. He was able to be accurate, but also very, very active in his approach to the start of this fight.
Oh, that's a hell of a kick right there. He told us Thursday that he was going to be kick-heavy tonight, and that is certainly a step in the right direction.
He is landing that.
Big strike lands.
Big strike lands. Now he looks to try to chase down that finish.
Oh, continuing to work the body to great effect. And he connects with a punch there. We'll see if he can follow it up.
He's landed that punch over and over again. What's he going to do to follow up?
Strike to end the fight and end the night for his opponent, who candidly may not have even seen that shot coming. So just the way he drew it up, exactly what he told us during the fight week, played out for on fight night. He found a little opening in his opponent's defense, charged right through it to get the big knockout.
I guess cause I'm black born, I'm supposed to say peace, sing songs and get capped on, but it's time for a new plan. Bam! I'll be swinging like a one-man plan. Here we go, turn it up, don't stop. Tell my homies on the block, getting dropped by cops. I'm still around for ya.
Hello YouTube, I'm Mike Marston. Welcome to another Blackwater Dojo Creative Fighter Formula video. Today we are looking at none other than the comeback kid, the underdog of the century, Lucky Chuck. Starting out with fighter type, I have him in. When I played with him the other day, he was using a kickboxer setup, but I have him set as boxer and showboat. And reason being is it gives him a little more stand-up power. And he still has, with showboat, he still has some great spin kicks and some heel kicks and stuff, but he's a little more vicious of a stand-up fighter if you put him in as boxer. So that's how I'm rocking him, boxer and showboat. You can always, with all of these characters, you can fight however you like. You can set them up any way you choose. Moving on to general info, male, 152-pound lightweight, 5'10", Lucky Chuck. And as always, he is the Butcher of Quakers Cove, so that nickname in there, Butcher, social media handle at Lucky Chuck. I have him fighting out of San Antonio, Texas. You choose whatever you want there. 45. Let's not do that. Let's go 31 there. Right-handed, clay, Ouija, posture, and then the walkout music, Bluebird's Sword. Moving to clothing real quick, I just kept it simple. Went with some dark UFC bottoms, black UFC gloves, but I'm sorry, I thought the grills looked pretty cool on him, and looks a little tough there. I like that. You can put on whatever you want as far as clothing is concerned. Let's move back up to appearance. Gonna go straight to hair. We always skip that main body preset, and we are going with hair 33, eyebrows 9, facial hair 17, and body hair 4. I decided to give him a little bit there. Hair color black, 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 and black. Oh, he looks so tough, man. I really love the way Chuck came out. Chuck's looking really good. I'm going to give you a fun fact. When Chuck and I first started playing Red Dead Redemption together, he wasn't really happy with his avatar model, and we talked about some different things, and he's a big GTA player as well. And I said, yo, dude, what if you could make your Red Dead character look like Trevor Phillips from Grand Theft Auto? And he did. If I dig and dig and dig and dig somewhere, I've got photos of him looking exactly like Trevor Phillips. But over time, it kind of morphed, and he turned into his Red Dead avatar kept all the Trevor Phillips specs, but kind of turned into an old bounty hunter and big mustache and old hair. He was my 15-year-old grandpa. Chuck was great. In UFC, I've kind of done the same. I went and did some research, looked at some pictures of Trevor, looked at some other people trying to create Trevor in UFC, and so I loosely based his character model once again off of Trevor Phillips. So that's a quick lore throwback and just a little fun fact Easter egg in there for you. Let's go ahead and go straight into it, and then we'll look at the eyes and his body type. We are going to start with template number 10 and just copy what you see on the screen. We're bringing the head down by almost a quarter on all three of those. Some minor adjustments to the brow. A lot of adjustment there in the eyes. So again, just pause the video and copy what you see on the screen. Major adjustments to the cheek. We've got to get that face kind of gone. We've got to get him skinny there. No bulk in the cheeks. Should probably give him some cauliflower on his ear, but for right now, this is what we're looking at. A lot of work in the nose, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Very happy. The nose is a very finicky thing in the game, so just copy what you see on the screen there. Some work in the jaw, 4 options there. Minor adjustments to the chin. And some decent adjustments to the mouth. The mouth, I was really happy with how it turned out. He's got that downturn look and the way that his brow comes in and the curve right there off of his nose. Really happy with how Chuck's face came out. And then the lower shape on the lip, that's important. Bring that way down, all the way down to 13, 50, 17, and 50, 70, and 13 there at the end. And there you have it. Chuck looking very tough. When we get into tattoos here, we'll look at a couple more things. Moving down to eyes, we're just going with brown on the eyes. And then for body type, we are going with body type 4, making him a little skinny, a little lanky. He's got some long arms, some decent legs there. Body number 5. Now looking at the tattoos, first and foremost, because you guys haven't really seen his back yet, I don't think, we've got those cards there on his side. He's Lucky Chuck, so he's got that ace of spades there sticking out of his drawers. Might actually tuck that down just a little bit, but right here is where it's at. The prize fighter, Lucky Chuck. When I first fought Chuck, Chuck had his own little created character. Kind of thought it looked a lot like me in real life, and I told him, I was like, hey man, it looks good. If you don't care, I might try to throw something together for you. And he was pretty excited about it. So here it is. First thing we did was spell out Lucky Chuck across his back. And what we used was the rosewood font number 3. Scaled the opacity down by just a notch so it didn't look brand new. Spelled Chuck right across his waistline there. And then Lucky on his back. Now you can curve that down if you like. You can curve it up the other way. You can write it straight across. Whatever you want to do there with that. Have fun. But the important part, and yes, I did some body morphing and some shading, we'll cover that in a second. Make sure that number-wise, your bird and your flag is underneath the letters. Put the bird and the flag on the body first, and then the letters or top of it. Otherwise, it doesn't layer in right. Also, I'll go ahead and show you the cards here. It is old school number 3. And you can scale these up, dial them down, you can tuck them down into his pants, you can kind of pull them up, show the dice, whatever you want to do. That's where I decided to put them, and I'm really happy with it. It looks great in the ring. I might add some more tattoos to Chuck as well. I may put a little something on his chest, or his arms. Something I like doing, and it's a little secret and a tip. I like putting something significant on at least one arm. That way, when I'm in the ring, I can use that as a visual cue to know if I'm leaning with my left or my right. This is what I have tattoo-wise for Chuck so far. Looking here, I use shape 99 to accent his some of his lower ab muscles. move that up. Here, let's get the opacity way up. Put that right in there. Give him that awesome V. Now, these cannot be too dark or they stand out really bad. So you got to dial the opacity down. But what we're trying to do is really accent that line. It's also a reason I have the cards there because it kind of helps hide the line there at the top. That way it doesn't look too fake or too obvious. But I did that on both sides of his body. You'll see the other side there. Also use shape 9 like always. Just a little bit around his pec muscles. Just a little bit, not the same way that I lined out Sid's, just a little bit there in the corners, just in the tips, just to give him a little bit more bulk. Visually, just adding a little bit of shadow there gives him just a little bit more in the chest. Moving up, I used shape 108 to line his abs. I'm gonna dial the opacity up on this so you can see it there. Now again, you do not, they look really cool right here when they're real dark like that, but in the ring, it stands out really bad. So you have to dial the opacity down. We really underlined his abs there. 8's on the other side. Moving up 9 there. And then the last one right there. And again, I'll kind of dial the opacity up so you can see. Yeah, right there in his ab. I just line those, and again, this is always optional. It's just if you want to take the time and the effort to just play with it and play with it and play with it. Last little bit, I tried something new with Chuck. I used shape 181, and I put it right there on his head. I'm going to back in and out of that a couple times, that way you see where it's flashing. You dial the opacity way up. Now you see that big dark spot on his head. Now just bring it down some. It kind of makes it look like a bruise. Like he's got a bruise in his head. Now you don't want it you don't want a big black knot on his head like that. But put a little bit of something right there. I also did one on the other side. I'm going to back in and out of that a couple times so you see where it's at. And it may not show up very well here. In the ring it shows up great though. Just looks like he's been pummeled on a little bit. Looks like he's a little sore. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Lucky Chuck, the Butcher of Quakers Cove, the Underdog King. If you yourself would like to see what I can do for you in UFC4, like, comment on this video, hit me up on Discord. For myself, the Blackwater Dojo, all the Shadaloo Riders, have a great day.